But look, why can't we get Tonali, Mark? I will come into your comments in a minute, but there's quite a few stuff to go through there. Despite this came in from James Ducker in the Telegraph as well. He said, despite being one of the best in his position, Tonali's betting breaches make him a risky signing, and Newcastle would demand a huge fee. United have assessed Tonali, but interest has cooled as they focus on other targets. Now, look, Man United can make whatever choice they want. We can't dictate it. We can only give an opinion on it. Why would you assess Tonali? I'm asking you the question. Why would you assess Tonali and then go on to other options? So let me break it down for you. Why would you look at Tonali and then go, we'd rather get Baleba? Why would you look at Tonali and decide you don't want to go for him? I don't understand that. And you know what I think it is, price. I think there is a. I'm not going to make a big issue of it because we don't have the evidence yet. We won't have the evidence until probably the middle of August. But what if there is a? What if somebody mentioned it on the show last night? What if there is a price issue here? What if Tonali and Anderson aren't possible because we don't want to pay £100 million and we don't want to pay the wages? Man City will be offering Elliot Anderson 250 grand a week, maybe even 300 grand a week. Tonali will want 250 grand a week. What if the reason we're not going for Anderson and Tonali is wages? What if we're now saying we don't want to pay 250 grand a week to people? I mean, that could be a reason. I don't see how you'd look at Tonali and go, yeah, we'd rather go for Baleba. I saw funnily enough, it was also James Ducker, and he said this about Tonali. About Baleba. He said, and what I'm saying here is, imagine what I've just said about Tonali. Why would you look at Tonali and say he's not for us? But then this update, Man United have explored the possibility of Baleba, but were put off by Brighton's 100 million valuation last summer. It's been a challenging season for him, although injuries, the disruption of the AFCON and family problems are all factors in his drop-off in form. So Baleba's basically been shit this season, but, you know, we're willing to find reasons for it. AFCON, injuries, family problems. So we'll still go for Baleba despite him being shit this season because there's reasons for it. AFCON, family problem, injuries. But we won't go for Tonali. You know, and that's what I'm sort of setting up here. So we've looked at Tonali and we're not interested, but Baleba, who was priced at 100 million last summer and has been crap this season, we will look at. And that's what that's where I'm sort of confused, because I'm still labouring under this best in class thing. And I know we haven't done it with the manager, and I know best in class is basically just a myth that United use for idiot fans who believe it, but I'd like to believe best in class is a thing. So why do you look at Tonali, who's been one of the best midfielders in Europe and is available this summer at 26 to replace Casemiro? Why do you go, he's not for us, but Baleba, who's had a bad season and plays for Brighton, why would you go for him? Answer the question. Answer the question as best you can. Why would United look at Tonali and go, no, and then look at Baleba and go, yes? And he's had a bad season. And they're making excuses for it. Family problems, injuries, AFCON. But Tonali has had a great season, and we're making excuses about things that happened 2 years ago. Oh, no, we can't go near him because he's got gambling problems. But we will go near Baleba because, you know, his issues are, you know, inconsistency, injuries, and poor performance. I think sometimes you've got to look a little bit granular. And I'm like, why have we steered away from Tonali, but we're more than happy to keep Baleba there? Because as footballers, one of them's up here and one of them's down here. So what's making us take that person above him? And the only thing I can think of is wages. Because the transfer fees aren't that different. You know, 70 million for Baleba, 100 million pounds for Tonali. Across a 5-year deal, you're talking 5 million a year. Is it wages? Is it going to be wages with Anderson as well? You know, Baleba's wages are probably going to be somewhere between 100 and 150 grand a week. Tonali's are going to be north of 225. Is it wages? Is that's what it is? Because if it is wages, I go back to what I said at the start, is one of the reasons we've gone with Carrick, because we can't afford a Tuchel or an Enrique. Because if you go to Tuchel and say there's £20 million a year, I don't think he signs for England. If you go to Enrique and say there's £30 million a year, I don't think he signs for PSG. I think everybody has a price. Maybe Man United are still operating under financial restraints because we haven't had the financial results of this year yet. We're back in the Champions League. We're going to make £100 million, but how much did we lose this year? So, look, I don't know. I find it confusing as to why some people are being dismissed when they're absolutely gold. I mean, I look at Tonali and I go, fucking hell. Stick him in the midfield with Mainu. He's absolutely perfect. He's not Casemiro. He's very different, but he's perfect. So, very interested to see where we're going to land on these midfielders.